Forensic toxicology is the branch of forensic science that studies the effect of drugs, poisons, and toxic substances on the human body, particularly in cases involving death, poisoning, or criminal investigation. The main purpose of forensic toxicology is to identify toxic substances, determine their role in causing injury or death, and provide scientific evidence to support legal proceedings. We will be presenting a forensic toxicology case study on the assassination of King Jong-nam, the half-brother of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, which occurred at Kuala Lumpur International Airport 2, Malaysia on 13 February 2017. This case is one of the most notable examples of forensic toxicology because it involved the use of VX nerve agent, one of the deadliest chemical weapons ever created.
On 13 February 2017, Kim Jong-nam, who was travelling under the name Kim Chol, was at the departure of Hall of KLIA-2. At approximately 9 a.m., he was approached by two women, Don Ting Huong and Siti Aisha, who rubbed a substance onto his face and eyes. The two women had allegedly been recruited and training by four North Korean operatives, who convinced them they were taking apart a hidden camera prank by carrying out a similar harmless prank beforehand. They were unaware that the substance used in the final attack was part of a planned assassination. Immediately after the incident, he sought at the information counter and reported that two women had attacked him from behind and applied something to his eyes. Shortly afterward, he developed a serious symptom including blurred vision, sweating, seizure, breathing difficulties, and loss of consciousness. Although he received emergency medical treatment, he later died while being transferred for further care. This case is unique for several reasons. First, it involves VX nerve agent, which is classified as a chemical warfare agent and is considered one of the deadliest nerve agents ever created. Second, the assassination took place in a crowded international airport, making it one of the most unusual poisoning cases in modern forensic history. Another unique feature is the suspected binary method used. This means two less toxic precursor chemicals were carried separately and became highly toxic VX only after being combined on the victim face. The attack itself lasts only a few seconds, yet it caused death within a short period of time because VX is internationally prohibited under Chemical Weapon Convention. The case attracted worldwide political, legal, and forensic attention.
There are several problems arise during this case. First, identify the exact poison responsible for the rapid death. When Kim's collapsed at KLIA-2, the investigators did not immediately know what substance had been used. The symptoms could have been caused by several toxic agents. Problem 2. Proving the poison caused the death. Detecting a chemical alone is not enough. Toxicologists had to determine whether the substance found in the victim was present in a sufficient amount and in a location consistent with fatal poisoning. Postmortem analysis detected VX nerve agent on the victim's face, eye mucosa, blood, urine, and clothing, while blood tests showed a severe reduction in cholinesterase activity. These findings demonstrate that the nerve agent had entered the body and disrupts the nerve system, leading to death. Third problem is linking the toxic substance to the suspect. A further challenge was connecting the poison to the individuals involved. Forensic chemists analyzed clothing and nail samples from the suspect and found traces of VX, its precursors, and degradation products. This evidence helped reconstruct how the chemical was handled and supported the conclusion that the toxic agent used on the victim was the same substance associated with the suspect.
Now I will explain the initial forensic toxicology in this case. After Kim collapsed at KLIA-2 and later died, doctors needed to know if he died from a poison and what poison it was. A full postmortem was done at Hospital Kuala Lumpur. They took blood, urine, swab from his eyes, face, and his clothing. Inside the body, they saw congested organs and fluids in the lungs. But these findings were non-specific and could come from many causes. Because the death happened right after a strange incident at the airport, the sample were sent to a specialized chemical weapon laboratory. Toxicology tests there detected VX nerve agent on the eye and face swab, and VX breakdown products in his blood, urine, bladder, and his back. His blood also showed a very low cholinesterase level, which is typical for organophosphate nerve agent like VX. Based on these toxicology results, the forensic pathologist concluded that the cause of death was acute VX nerve agent poisoning.
The re-evaluation of the Kim case demonstrates the critical role of forensic toxicology in determining the true cause of death. Initially, the victim showed symptoms such as blurred vision, sweating, seizures, breathing difficulties, and loss of consciousness shortly after being attacked at KLIA-2. Toxicological examination later detected VX nerve agent on the victim's face, eye mucosa, blood, urine, clothing, and personal belongings. The postmortem findings also showed a significant reduction in blood cholinesterase levels, which is consistent with exposure to organophosphorus nerve agents. The forensic pathologist concluded that the cause of death was acute VX poisoning. The toxicological findings were further supported by chemical analysis conducted by experts from the Center for Chemical Weapon Analysis. VX and its degradation products were identified on samples taken from the deceased, and traces were also found on the clothing of the accused. These findings provided strong scientific evidence linking the toxic agent to the victim's death and helped investigators reconstruct how the poisoning occurred.
Next, I will talk about the court outcome and interpretation. In the Shah Alam High Court, the judge had to decide whether the prosecution had made out a prima facie case of murder. This means, is there enough credible evidence that, if the accused said nothing, a conviction could still be possible? The judge accepted that VS poisoning caused Kim's death and that the VS came from the attack at the airport. The court relied on several points, VX and its breakdown products on the victim's body and clothes, VX-related compounds on the clothing and fingernail of one accused, and CCTV showing that the two women approaching the victim and then rushing to clean themselves. Even though the exact moment of the attack was not clearly visible and there was no direct eyewitness, the judge decided that all the evidence together was strong enough. A prima facie case of murder was found, and both women were called to enter their defense. Forensic toxicology played a key role in linking the accused to VX and helping the court interpret what really happened.
From this case, there are some recommendations that can be applied to avoid this issue happen again. Laboratories should continue developing more sensitive and rapid toxicology testing method for chemical warfare agent and emerging toxin.
Another recommendation is to raise public awareness about the dangers of toxic chemicals and poisoning by educating the public on the symptoms of poisoning and the appropriate emergency response. Lives can be saved and the impact of toxic exposure can be reduced.
Lastly, the recommendation is to present toxicology evidence in simpler language. Complex scientific terms should be explained with clear diagrams or short summaries so judges and lawyers can understand the evidence more easily. This helps the court make fair and accurate decisions.
Forensic toxicology is important because it helps identify and measure toxic substances present in biological samples, such as blood, urine, tissues, and body fluids. It plays a crucial role in determining whether drugs, poisons, alcohol, or chemicals contributed to injury or death. In criminal investigations, toxicology provides objective scientific evidence that can establish the cause and manner of death. It is particularly important in poisoning cases where physical injuries may be minimal or absent. Toxicological findings can also help investigators identify the toxic substances involved, understand its effect on the body, and link suspect to the crime. The Kim Jong-nam case clearly illustrates the importance of toxicology because the victim's death could not have been conclusively explained through observation alone. The identification of VX nerve agent through laboratory analysis was essential in confirming the cause of death and supporting the prosecution's case.
In conclusion, the Kim's assassination demonstrates the critical role of forensic toxicology in criminal investigations. Through scientific analysis of biological samples and chemical evidence, forensic toxicology successfully identified VX nerve agent as the cause of death and linked the toxic substance to the incident. This case highlights how forensic toxicology helps determine the cause of death, identify hazardous chemicals, and provide reliable scientific evidence that supports the administration of justice. Thank you.